welcome Kronation to episode 27 of Around the Round. I'm Chris Braze. Joining me today for a special all-star draft edition of Around the Round. Kyle McGrath, as always, on my left, and on my right, Scott Kennedy. They will be the two captains of the all-star game.
Did you just steal my line? As always. It's usually the other way around. It's always like, I'm Kyle McGrath here with Chris Braze.
I finally got to do it.
You did
so I stole it verbatim. Scott Kennedy, as we mentioned, also here. You will be the captain of the Kronum Pride, I believe, and the Kronum Honor. The visitor will be...
First time I'm playing against Scott. I played with him for the last 2 seasons.
So
we lost both of us.
Yeah, it's my fault.
One of our first wins.
One of us is finally going to get a win here.
So as everyone knows, the All-Star Game will be this Saturday, following the championship game, which will also feature the two of you captaining. Very interesting. That's why we have a table in between you to separate you two, so that there is no altercation during our podcast here.
And what you can see is both our ankles are chained to the chairs.
So we're going to keep it very cordial here. Starting off, Kyle, you will be the away team because we are drafting the All-Stars that are chosen by the fans on Kronum.com. All the top vote getters will be in, and we'll play on either one of your two teams. So you will get the privilege of calling the coin flip to decide.
Tails never fails.
Tails never fails.
It didn't fail as usual.
So Kyle will get the first pick. Should mention, we have the All-Star pool here. There are 2 players who were selected to the All-Star game who will not be playing in the game. Steve Vandenberg and Jeff Regensburg of the Jet Sets both made the game, but cannot make the game. So we have already replaced them, and they will be very missed in the All-Star game.
Well, without further ado, the first pick in the draft. I think I'm gonna shock Scott here. I'm gonna take Evergreen's Ranger Joe Petrino.
All right.
So Kyle McGrath going with Petrino first. He was 4th in the league in scoring. Also the most penalty shot points of any guy in the league. He will be your first pick. And why is that surprising?
Well, I want to know why you took him over Jared.
Jared's playing a game before. Fresh legs, baby.
That's true. Good point. Because I had Jared 1, Petrino 2.
And I figured that was what it would be. And I went, you know what? I was like, I'd really like to play with Jared, but if...
I thought you would steal him just so that Scott had no one to pass to.
I love Jared. Trust me, I wanted to take him. But if I don't beat him in the championship, I want to at least try to beat him in the All-Star game.
All right, so are we assuming that you will take O'Donnell with your second pick?
I'll take Jared. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first round. Petrino and O'Donnell will be the first round. It's pretty much how we expected to go. Jared also, should mention, was the top vote getter in the Kronum League at the Ranger position, as well as the top scorer this year in the Kronum League.
Well,
so
I don't think this third pick is going to surprise Scott as I finally get to steal one of his Rangers. With the third pick, I'll take Nimblejack's Ranger Ryan Coyne.
Going to take Coyne. Interesting pick. Getting a Nimblejack on your team after you guys are going to play in the championship.
I need one of the 2 lefties that's in the game.
Okay. What about the other lefty? Why didn't you pick him first?
He's coming soon.
Scott, with your second pick, who do you have?
I'll take Cavalcante.
Saw that coming.
Yeah.
Cavalcante he's 2-0 in All-Star games.
He just wins.
He's under the radar, too. He didn't get as many votes as I thought that Phil would get, as he was sort of 6th amongst the Rangers. And I think people forgot about him a little bit, not being in the playoffs, but he'll be coming back with a vengeance, I'm sure.
And I got to update my list here.
Cav's a little banged up, but I think he'll put it together for this.
I think if you get him on the flex, he's going to do some real damage.
Yeah, I think if he can finally shoot for 2.
I was going to say, I think he's going to be happy he can spend some time out on the perimeter a little bit, where he's spent most of his career.
Yeah, I doubt there'll be too much face guarding with all the talent that we'll have on the field.
6-man face guard.
6-man.
Put it past me.
All right.
If you put that out in an All-Star game, I'll be very surprised.
So with my third pick, the 5th overall pick, I guess it's going to be, I will take Night Owls Ranger Joe Tolsky.
Tolsky pick. Gotta get one of your guys on your team. Is that what it is? You picked a Nimblejack, so you had to have a Night Owl now?
Yep.
Interesting. You picked Petrino with your first pick for fresh legs, and then go with 2 guys who are going to play in the first game.
I just need to make sure I had one guy with fresh legs. The other 3 Rangers are going to be hurting.
So you're going to be relying on Petrino a lot for his defensive prowess.
There's also another reason why I wanted Tolsky.
All right. Scott, who do you have?
Shoots lefty, too. I need 2 left. I got 1.5 lefties now.
1.5 lefties?
I'm going to go with Pete Weiss, as I think he's top in the league with the goal zone offense. And I think we're going to have so many flex and cross zone shooters that having the goal zone presence is really going to be something we're going to look for to change it up a little bit.
Definitely.
Interesting, yeah.
I will take Jet Sets crosser Matt Parsons.
There you go. He is just literally taking everyone who has ever thrown left-handed on your team, who is in the All-Star game. He's one of the two lefties, and they're already both off the board on your team, Ryan Coyne and Matt Parsons, and you already got a captain. Both captains in the game that are not captaining the team are already picked with Phil Cavalcante and Matt Parsons.
That's how I roll, dude.
Well, you didn't
need leadership. I just got to keep Pat Parsons quiet in the huddle. Remember that.
I'm going to go with
good luck.
Mike Reagan.
Reagan is your next pick?
Yeah.
Cool. That's a guy who really came on this year. He was top 10 in scoring, top 5 in assists for the Urban Legends.
Yeah, he can still shoot the ball from the point. He doesn't shoot as hard as some of these other guys, but this season he's shooting better from the point than I am. So not afraid to say.
All right. Well, Scott already took one of his wedge backs, and I'm gonna have to take another one. I need a goal zone guy as well, and tops and save percentage as well. Sean Kennedy is who I'm gonna go with.
Sean Kennedy, and you're going big now here. We got Tolsky as a Ranger, possibly a wedge back as well. I'm thinking, and then Sean Kennedy as well. Led the league in saves, led the league in save percentage. Overall best defensive wedge back in the league, probably.
Yeah, awesome wedge back. The Nimble Jacks are just stacked with wedge backs. There's 3 of them in this game, and I needed to make sure I get at least one of them.
Is Scott going to take the third guy? We'll see if he might take the third guy off our hands right now.
I guess I should fill myself in.
Yeah, I just did that.
For cross.
I just did that. I was like, oh man, I need 2 more Rangers. I was like, no, I'm good actually. I need 1.
All right, so Scott, who do you have with your next pick? With Sean Kennedy off the board. So we'll have a Kennedy on each team this year. 2, that's it.
Yeah,
Sure.
He played against Sean Kennedy was on the honor in the first All-Star game, and last season he played with us on the Pride. So this will be
had one of the highlights of the All-Star game last year when he tried to kick the ball from behind him.
Yeah,
it was on the blooper reel. Who you got, Scott, for your? I guess it's your 6th pick or 5th pick.
I think
Are we going to have to put a time limit on you at some point?
This is like the pivotal pick for me, at least, where I don't know if I want to go Ranger or wedge back.
You only have the one wedge back so far.
I know.
I don't know. We're going to put a clock on him? What do you think?
Yeah.
Nah,
give me another 15 seconds.
I'll give him time. It's okay. It's gonna start getting a little. I knew we were gonna fly through the first 5 picks each or so.
These next ones, if we go 10 seconds each, we're gonna be finished this in 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, we're all right. I'm not worried about time limit.
Well, I thought with Sean Kennedy coming up the board, you would take the next Nimble Jacks wedge back right off the board right after that.
Sometimes that's actually what I'm debating on right now is whether, because some guys I just want to have fun playing with because it's nice playing with different guys. Yeah, I play with the Nimble Jacks all the time.
Yeah.
So because there are is it like 5 or 6 Nimble Jacks that are selected to the game?
With that said, let's go with Mike Small.
Mike Small.
And he's between Small and Geiger, but
so you picked both.
I want to play with Small. Sorry, Geiger. I'm playing with you the game before that.
Both workhorses. Last year we had no workhorses in the game. 2 of them both are going to be playing.
This guy's got cannons.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a wedge back. I'm going to go with Steve Botta.
Steve Botta coming off the board. And interesting going with Botta at the wedge back. There's a lot of talent in the wedge back core.
Yeah, but
I didn't think Botta was going to come off that quickly.
Botta's just such an amazing shot stopper, and he can do it all. He can kick in the wedge and clean up. He can go into the goal zone. He's really very versatile. So I really like Botta at the wedge back position.
I'm seeing a lot of versatility throughout this.
He caught my ball this year, man. I need to not do that. It needs to not happen again in the All-Star game.
Those are what number 1.
I've seen him catch at least 4 balls like that. It's just ridiculous.
Catching the ball while diving is pretty exceptional, and but
absolutely.
I'm looking at these wedge backs.
I didn't write you. I was wondering. I didn't write you down.
Yeah, I just did. I'm in the same spot.
I wrote myself. All
right. I'm in the same slot that you just put me.
I didn't write you guys down either. I should probably put you guys both in. Make sure we know what team you guys are on. Steve Botta coming off the board, and he's going to be one of 2 throwbacks in the game as well. All the teams are going to be represented this time.
Yeah. All right. I have to go with Geiger here because right now I'm looking at my Rangers and they're all really big guys, And
I'm
not saying they're slow, but
you want
You're saying they're
Geiger's second in blocks. So
he's
I need a
first.
little bit.
He
of
led,
blocks.
yeah.
He led the league.
Oh, that's
So I
right.
was
Stevens
second.
was second.
Yeah, Stevens and I were second.
And Phil
So Geiger led.
as well was also tied
Yeah,
for
so you
second.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got-
So,
you
yeah,
got-
I got some shot blockers.
So you got some shot blockers and small.
I'm sure small block could
Yeah,
get a handle
small,
on
small,
it.
small 6'7". Like, let's be serious. He just sticks out an arm. He might get a couple.
All right, I'm gonna go with another wedge back. I'm gonna get. I gotta take him, man. I'm gonna take Ben Hutchinson. I just want to play with him once.
You like having Hutch on your team as
Yeah.
opposed to stopping.
I did play with him in the first All-Star game, but that was on the 70. The 50 is just ridiculous.
And also
That's
should
just
mention Hutchison, the highest vote getter amongst the wedge backs.
Yeah.
So that was good. All the nimble jacks got a lot of votes. It looked like you guys got your people out in force.
Yeah, we got some good fans. All right, so
Hutch goes
here,
to Kyle McGrath.
in sports, sometimes they say that there are like some pitchers that batters just can't hit.
Yep.
Some batters that just crush pitchers. Well, this guy is somebody that I think in our like 3 or 4 years playing against each other, I think I've probably scored on him twice. Bob Zane.
Yeah.
I need him on my team so I
So
can
you go with
score.
Zane?
Yep.
So
He was fourth. What was he? Fourth
fourth in the league in
percentage?
save percentage, top saves.
He
for
kills
the,
me every time we
the
play.
Night Owls as well. So
And he's always seemed to play well in these mixed games. I remember in the first time we ever played in the 50, he had like 18 saves.
Oh yeah, he had some
Yeah,
good points
he's
in
just-
that game too.
Yeah,
I
he
remember.
did.
and he's a guy who can shoot from the point too.
Yep.
Made a penalty shot in the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Zane doesn't think he's going to be shooting too much from the point in this game.
I think he does.
Hey, I'm just telling you what he can do.
All right, man. This name is just on this. Like, he's just way too good to be still on here. I kind of was trying to get some shot stoppers because I had some scorers already, but I got to take Kevin Glover.
You see, he was the guy when you picked Bada that I looked on the wedge back list, and I'm like, how are you guys missing the fact that Kevin Glover is still on this board?
It's just because I love you, Glove, but he likes to shoot a lot, and I'm gonna have plenty of shooters, and
Yeah.
And you
I
like to
needed
shoot
to make
a lot.
and I needed to make sure that I had my stoppers and guys that can make saves in this game because
Yeah. I agree. That's why I went with Weiss followed
Yeah,
by Zane.
absolutely.
You got to
Yeah.
get the high percentage.
Those guys are all-
Well, and this
They're
is
all shot
I think
stoppers.
Right.
the wedge back is probably the deepest of any of these positions. You got some really good players all the way through.
I was taking defense first. I mean, that's what he's looking at. You're looking at Weiss and Zane. I mean, yeah, Weiss unbelievable on the back door, and that's a niche thing for him. That's what's so good about Weiss is he's second in the league in save percentage, and then he's so good in the goal zone. Probably the best in the goal zone in the league. Well, definitely the best.
I think he was number one in ring points.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You know
he does well.
Yeah,
Actually,
the
the nimble
Geiger,
jacks.
Geiger to Weiss might help
Yeah.
a little. I might have him play up there again.
Oh, just playing their normal positions that they play for the Jacks.
Maybe.
Why not?
Makes sense.
Who was next in save percentage? Was it Jerry right now? Out of
No.
these last
No, the
four?
save percentage was
Out of the last four. You
Yeah.
got Don Petrino, ZBF, Plessia, and Marin.
I think
Well,
it was.
Custer was in there as well, but Custer.
I think
wasn't
out of those
allowed.
guys, wasn't Plessia?
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps.
I think he had a 46% save percentage.
You said you
I have it.
stuff.
No,
I
I
didn't
know
have
it's not-
save
I just know
percentage
off
on the
my
top of my
head.
head.
It's 46.
I just have where they were doing
Alright.
well.
It was
Go with Jerry.
46%.
Like
Let's
little
go with Jerry.
Jerry Plessia, Evergreens. Okay, I was been waiting for my Evergreens wedgebacks to come off the board because there's two of them.
Pleasure for president.
Plessia for president. The campaign worked. We got him in the game.
You got him in.
I want to talk about a campaign that worked. Mr. Ryan Skinner.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
campaign worked.
Yeah, well, we'll talk
Alright.
about him. I'm sure he'll
Yeah.
get picked at some point.
Well, I'm going to round out my Rangers. I'm going to go with a guy that I saw plenty of this season. Saw him 3 times up close and personally. Just guarded me in this last game. TJ Kane. I respect him. This kid so much. I can't wait to have him on my team and be playing defense.
Here we go. The Evergreens starting to come off the board. The number one pick was Joe Petrino, and then there's 3 other ones who haven't got. We got 2 of them off the board now.
Yep.
In Jerry and TJ. And TJ, a guy who brought in defensive specialist, not going to blow you away offensively, but he does work on defense. And I think you picked him more or less because you don't want to see him the whole game, huh?
Who's that?
TJ?
Yeah, I don't want him anywhere near me. I'm sick of playing against him. Sick of it. First 2, he held me to my 2 lowest scoring games of the regular season, actually. So trust me, I'm happy to have him on my
I
roster.
just saw him last in the semifinals where he did a decent job against you as well.
He did. He did.
So we're back on Scott Kennedy.
I'm going to go with Kevin Marin. I think his game, the past 3 games has been unbelievable.
And in this type of game, he's going to be opened up more. He's not going to be able to be keyed
I'm
on.
excited to see how he plays here because honestly, we haven't really seen him in any type of all-star or mixed kind of
Seen
invitational type
it
game.
in the tournament in the Go Green, but that's completely different. But
I'm gonna
Yeah,
pick
a lot
up
of these guys we've seen in past All-Star games, or even like you said, the 50 when we first started playing on the 50. And
I think
we
there's
did
like,
the
Comcast.
I think there's 5 or 6 rookies in the game too. So Marin's one of them. Plesh is already off the board as a rookie.
Right.
I don't think any of the other ones have been picked yet.
So I'm gonna get my
TJ obviously.
I'm gonna get my second crosser, and it's not gonna be surprised if I'm gonna take my crosser, Chris Montanazzi.
CVT, and he's another guy who I thought would come off the board a lot earlier. I guess it's a deep draft.
Very
a lot of crossers and a lot of good crossers as well.
And I didn't. I'm like looking at the scouts. I'm like, when's he gonna take another crosser? Same thing. I have not written Scott Kennedy's name into the crosser.
Because he has his crosser already, just like you already have your Ranger when you get in the game.
I'm going to go with, this actually, I'm going to go with Skinner.
Skinner.
Dude, that kid.
Skinner. Get some steals for me.
I was talking to Matt Parsons pretty much every week of the beginning of the year, and I said, man, you got a guy sitting on your roster. You got a spark plug on your roster, man. He's sitting there. And Parsons' answer to me was always like, yeah, we just gotta hone his skills. And for the first half of the season, that's what they did. In the second half, you really saw what he was capable of when he would play under control.
And we're really seeing what he's capable of as well. As Scott mentioned, he was not on the ballot.
Yeah.
He was not on the ballot.
Trust me, he wants to show everybody that he belongs in a game.
He was not chosen by us to be on the Kronum ballot, and he just said okay, and he got 360 write-in votes.
That's awesome.
Which is just a ridiculous number.
He has a lot of support for him too.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
let's see. I hope that support goes through to his. He's starting the Central Jersey. Kronum.
Right. We just started that up, and within like 2 or 3 days, he already has about 25, 30 guys.
So I'm gonna just finish up my wedge backs here. I'm gonna get the other evergreen. I'm gonna take Dom Petrino.
Dom Petrino. So you're gonna take both Petrinos.
I got the brothers on my team.
Got both Petrinos. Petrino, of course, Italian for ring shooter.
I wonder if they'll play in the same quadrant together.
Perhaps. Maybe that number 1, right?
Probably quad 1.
So yeah, you got both Petrinos. Dom actually was the second highest vote getter in terms of wedgebacks, behind only Hutch. So
thanks to Lisa Petrino.
I'm sure some other people might have voted for Dom.
Mrs. Petrino is probably one of the best Kronum moms out there by far. You can hear her in the background of every game, every game. Trust me.
And Mrs. Skinner might argue for that as well.
Yeah, liking everything on Facebook. Mrs. Petrino, we love you. Keep it up.
All right, so Scott, how are you gonna?
And I made it easy for her to root for the honor.
That's true. Yeah, you got both brothers.
She wouldn't have known who to root for if they got split up. So
that's a good question. If Joe and Dom were on different teams, who would she have rooted for?
Yep.
We'll never know.
All right, I'm going with Quentin's here.
Quentin's.
I don't really have. Right now we're almost.
Yeah, we're done.
These are
So
I need one Ranger, one wedgeback, and you need one.
Well, the cool thing is that the people at home, they don't know who actually.
They don't know who's
that's true.
Yeah,
they don't know. Only we have the names right here.
There's 2 more picks that are available, but beyond Mike Quentin's, who is, of course, Jet Sets. We're talking about support.
Quentin's, congrats.
Yeah, support from his family as well. The whole Quentin's family is usually at the Jet Sets.
Oh, they're great.
Quentin's had a clan with them, dude. They all got jerseys from everybody on the team. They were like rocking Jet Sets jerseys.
They play in the rec leagues.
Yeah, Mr. Quentin's is
them tonight.
Yeah, Mr. Quentin's is my favorite Kronum player. So I would have voted for him in this game if I could have. Well, I might have even written him in.
With my final pick for the honor, a guy that's also
I'm going to write this down before you even take it.
He won a All-Star game in Season 2 on the 70 with the honor. I lost to him. He loved that. I'll take my other crosser, Jay Klein.
Jay Klein getting in. So both crossers from the Night Owls will be on your team. You get all the Night Owls? Now, Bob Zane will be playing against his teammates in this one.
Yeah.
But all the other Night Owls told
So let's talk about Mr. Irrelevant now, the final pick.
Mr. Irrelevant of the All-Star.
Yeah, we're talking about a game of 26, 26 guys, and we're going to have Mr. Irrelevant.
26 out of like 120 guys in the room. He's so irrelevant.
You're so irrelevant. Like when they're doing the NFL draft, it's like the 400th pick.
Yeah.
But
who do you got? Call him out, Scotty.
Zach Van Fossen.
Zach Van Fossen, final pick.
And he sort of, I guess, went to the bottom because we haven't seen him for a while. He missed the last game for the Jet Sets and missed the playoff day. Mm-hmm. But a good wedgeback, highlight reel guy. And a guy in the KL2 All-Star game who saved the game. I don't know which one of your teams.
That was for our team. He sent it to overtime with that. Well, he saved us.
That was sick.
with a diving save on a
Yeah.
full-out hook throw by Kevin Glover.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable save.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if he can get the same heroics.
We've had really good All-Star games.
Wow.
Well, the
first
season
year
2 one
to-
went to overtime.
Yeah,
That
season
was
2,
the first
ever All-Star game went
first
to
All-Star
overtime.
game went to overtime.
And last year came down to the final possession. I remember that. I mean, we had a shot for an 8, I think.
Yeah.
At the, but I got called for a
Good.
line violation by Ryan Ayers.
So we're going to move along. Let's just review your lineups here. So for Kyle's team, the honor, you have Joe Petrino, Ryan Coyne, Joe Tolsky. Who's next? Matt Parsons, Sean Kennedy, Steve Botta, Hutch, Kevin Glover, TJ Kane, Chris Von Tannhausen, and Don Petrino and Jay Klein right now will be the end of your roster. Of course, Kyle McGrath will also be playing as a Ranger position.
Yeah, if I can walk.
That's the other thing. You've got a lot of guys in terms of Night Owls and Nimblejacks in your team, and you picked a guy for fresh legs, and then you picked
That's the only fresh legs I need is Joe Petrino. Have you ever seen him play Kronum?
And then, so let's look at it for Scott now. You got your guy O'Donnell with the first pick, Cavalcante, Pete Weiss, Mike Reagan, Mike Small, Dan Geiger, Bob Zane, Jerry Plesha, Kevin Marin, Ryan Skinner, Mike Quintons, and Zach Van Fossen will round out the roster.
It's going to be fun.
This is going to be really fun.
So many good names.
Staring at these names.
I was thinking about what I want to do for defense or offense, and it's just like,
How about we just face
get the ball in
everybody?
somebody's hand.
Let's
Just-
play man up.
Six man.
We'll play man
Six
defense.
man
I'm
man.
just kidding. That'd be literally impossible in a
It's
game
going
like
to be
this.
fun.
Well, yeah, you leave 4 guys open, and who are you going to leave open on Scott's team? Go ahead and pick 4 names.
Trying to make some people angry.
I'll leave.
I would suggest not
nobody.
picking any Nimblejacks because you don't need to get them angry
Nope.
with you before the championship game.
I'll tell you who won't not. I'm not. How do I say
Double
this?
negative.
Will be covered. Jared O'Donnell. Gotta
You think-
cover
You're
Jared.
going to cover Jared. I would cover Phil too. I don't know.
Nah, I won't cover Phil. He's got old. What, he turned 31 on Saturday?
Ouch. We do have some, but Jay Klein is on your team. He's over 30
He's
as well.
older. He's like 34. But he's got legs like a 21-year-old, so we're good.
All right. Any final thoughts on your All-Star pairings before we move on?
I mean,
This
no
is
matter
the year of the pride. This is the
So-
year.
In the previous 2 years, the honor is won.
Yes.
So I'm just going to keep the tradition going. Hopefully the honor make it 3 in a row. I was happy to take on the that name as the guys that have captained it before me were Joe Farino and Corey Robertson, 2
Yeah.
guys I obviously respect with so much, guys that are Kronum veterans, and too bad Corey Robertson couldn't be with us for season 4, but hopefully we'll get him back in season 5.
Yeah, we'll see how we
Legends.
did drafting.
Yeah.
See if we can get this game to be as close as the past 2.
I think it
we
will
got an
be.
overtime game and a last possession game. You guys got a lot to live up to.
So now we're just got to have a shootout. Got to have it.
Shootout.
Got to finish out this
Who,
trifecta.
who would your shootout lineups be? Did you even think about
Hey,
that?
I mean, if I had to go off the top of
Pick
my
out a
head,
hat.
off the top of my head, if I had to go with my lineup, I'd tell you right now, my wedge back would be Ben Hutchison, and my shooters would be Joe Petrino, myself, and Don Petrino, probably.
Don Petrino, an interesting pick because
Yeah.
we didn't even
Both
use him.
Petrinos and myself.
Petrino's, of course, very good at penalty shoot. Joe had more
Yeah.
penalty shot.
Well,
shoot.
I'll tell you what, I just hopped in goal against both of them in the semifinal game.
Everybody knows
And-
that. You don't.
And Joe, of course, is we know Joe Petrino, best penalty shooter in the game right now. And then Don Petrino ticked one off the post and hit inside
Side
netting. And I was
netting.
like, all right,
That was sick.
it doesn't matter who that was against. That was going in.
Anyone with the last name Petrino is a
Yeah,
pretty good
so-
penalty shooter. How about you, Scott? What do you think you'd go with?
I'd go with Weiss as my wedge back.
Yeah.
I'd clearly take J.O. Cavalcante, and then the third shooter. There's so many big shooters.
I know.
I might go with Geiger.
I was
He's
gonna say, I'm
good
looking
from
at
the
Geiger.
point. He's good
Mhm.
from the point.
I mean, you have
Or
literally
I
you have Bob Zane. You have literally Bob Zane, Geiger, Skinner, and Reagan, and you're
Yeah, Skinner's been
They're both
great
really-
from the point
yeah.
recently too.
So it'd be interesting to see. who
We'll
your
see if it
third
comes.
one would
We'll
be.
see if it comes to that. It'd be really
Yeah.
cool if it could.
They have a ton of firepower from the point. I mean,
I'll just put myself in there just to have some fun.
yeah.
Too bad we don't have Scott Anderson.
Could you have?
Set
Maybe
shot,
he
set
would-
shot 6.
If he was in the situation that Petrino was in the semi round, I don't know. I think I would have been. I was sweating that already because it was Joe Petrino. But if Scott Anderson was the guy
That's great.
down 6 that needed to hit the shot, I don't think I'd want to.
Question: Could you use Tolsky righty then lefty?
Both? 2 shooters? He counts as 2 shooters.
2 shooters?
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see this.
So the All-Star game will be, was it 5:30 is the time?
5:30.
We have for it
Following the final
on
round.
Saturday. Games will not be on Sunday this weekend. Saturday
Yes.
games. The championship is 2 o'clock, and the All-Star
3
game
o'clock.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yep.
3 o'clock, and then
5:30.
5:30 for the
Correct.
All-Star game immediately following the victory for one of your two teams. So let's talk. Any thoughts on the championship while we're here? I mean, we got to. I'd be remiss not to mention.
I mean, all I'm gonna say about it is that this is a rematch of the season 1 championship, and I mean, there's a lot of history between our two teams, and I've never been involved in a Night Owls Nimblejacks game, and I'm sure no Kronum fan has ever watched a Nimblejacks Night Owls game and not been entertained and not seen Kronum, being played at its highest level, in my opinion. So,
anything